Thank you, Lottie. Last but not least, we have Shannon Wolf, who comes to us by way of England, Seattle, now in Lafayette, but on Monday, Denver. She's leaving in 2 days. But Shannon has had probably the most unique experience of any MFA student at McNeese, in that she's finished her program in 2 years rather than 3. And so if you guys can think back to this, that means that she's really only on campus for 1 semester while she's been here. And she's worked super hard. She's a hard worker. She made it through getting the MA and the MFA in the 2 years and wrote fantastic work. She's been published in a number of journals. She also has had a residency at the Sundress Academy Fellowship, and she is also currently an intern for them. And like all of our students, I expect to see wonderful, great things from Shannon out in the world. She's already starting to do that. And her thesis is called Green Card Girl, and she is our very own Green Card Girl. So please join us in welcoming Shannon Wolf.
Hi guys. Thank you so much. That was lovely. Like everyone else, I just want to echo that I've had the best time. Workshop has been incredible. I feel really lucky and thankful to be graduating with 3 amazing women in such a weird short time where we've been online and who knows what else. Yeah, the workshop has been fantastic, so supportive. I feel like my work has grown immeasurably. I also feel like I've made some very cool friends. Shout out to the people that aren't here who are virtual, especially Luna, who I came in with and we missed a lot. Yeah, I will be in Denver from Wednesday next week when we arrive there. So please come visit everybody. We will have a spare room for you. And yeah, my poems are about my immigration journey from England. They are about chosen family, my husband, who I'm sure will sit here embarrassed while I read lots of poems about him. Yeah, I like to write about loving America, which sounds a little bit weird, I'm sure, to all of you people who are from America, but I love it here, and I'm very happy to live here with all of you. So the first poem I'll read is called Origin Story. It's the opening poem for the collection, and it basically sets the tone so you get kind of an idea of what is coming forth. Yeah. Origin Story. Grew up dysphoric, one eye on the sky, waiting for planes that could bear me to new air, to a land with red flag mailboxes and open top Cadillacs that fit 6, hands flared in the air. At my windowsill, I surveyed the hedgerows and wilted. This place is all cider and cow shit. And I'm lonely, too loud for my family, shushed like waves. I don't breathe, snared by air. My birthplace was misplaced. I hung maps all over my walls and tattooed American cities on my arms, wistful embroidery, stilled in Ilminster Town Square, summoned over the air. At 11, I wrote a class speech about the city so good they named it twice. I got an A+ and begged my mother for tickets. She murmured soon. I conjured skyscrapers in the air. The first time a plane dropped me on the tarmac at JFK, I cried mouth open and unashamed. A fortnight wouldn't quench my thirst. I drank more than my share of the city's air. I forget the Prime Minister's name behind that cold door. I am not long for this land. I wonder if it's patriotism if you love another country. Russet mountains and prairie air. I am an ancient river pulsing through my homeland, making a break for the Atlantic. I still count planes. I'm going to be a part of it. Unanswered prayers lace the air. So yeah, that kind of sets the tone. Hopefully you get the idea. I'm a weird English person who likes America. Yeah, Yeah, this next poem is for my grandmother. So shout out to Megan. Those are lovely. I love all your poems for my grandmother. My grandmother passed a few years ago, but I wanted to like just hold space for her for a moment. So this is the Hold Steady for Shirley Ann Bushby. I still save all the recordings my grandmother left on my voicemail. I still talk to her at her headstone under the tree at the foot of the hill. And when that beacon is too far to walk, I talk into the vacuum of air when I'm driving. Or when I'm cooking or cleaning, silently when I'm arguing with my father. My metronome, I hear her all the time. It's lavender where she is, no medication, no machine to empty out her blood, to flush it and feed it back into her. I don't need to hear her quiet cursing or hear her hum above ground. When I'm reaching for her strength, I hear it in the ways I come home. My voice, her name, my name in her voice on the telephone. Had to mess up that last line. Many of the poems in my thesis are about my husband. So this is where he makes his entry. We had our first date in Seattle 3 years ago, almost now. And before that, I had sworn off men for life. I was never going to date another man. And then I got to America and I thought, well, if I date someone here, we might get married. So, you know, that maybe changes things. So this is my first date in 2 years, with thanks to the Fiddler's Inn in Seattle. Sitting at a table for two, my mind rolling double time. This isn't meant to happen yet. Your breath sounds like wind chimes. America, America, America. I've only been here 2 months, but here you are with eyes of Aegean mud. You know I get stuck every time. I only see you in encyclopedic places, the library, the bookstore, behind my eyes. I'm not supposed to find you so fast. What's the catch? The shape of your mouth, it's the sand through my fingers. It's the tang of orange stinging my lip when I was half this size. No, I don't want to hook up back at your place. That's really not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I believe I will be waking up to wind chimes when I'm 80-something years old. And I never knew until you lifted your glass and I saw your evening wrists turn to the light. Sorry if that's super embarrassing for you. Obviously, I'm in a transitional period right now. We have literally no furniture in our apartment and we are sitting on a book bed. So it feels fitting that I am reading a poem now about our move from Seattle to Louisiana as we were packing up our trailer. So this is White Picket Fence. Me, a woman in sweats, surveying the neighborhood from my driveway. A man jogging, a man striding, his wife 10 paces behind, groceries paper bagged in her arms like a child. A man leaf blowing, peaks ruddy with afternoon liquor. A man dousing a lawn with a hose looped loosely around his spraying arm. A man in a Chevy, a man slow brakes inside the trailer in the spaces outside my house and looks up at it, looks over at me and back again, his mouth a snaking line. A man in a Honda, a man in a Pontiac, a man who pauses, sees me alone, his body gunning toward me, his mouth a knife, returning to a grimace smile over my head, a nod, a going on his way. A man, my husband, opening the garden gate, hammer and gloves in hand. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that poem. Kind of an angry poem, I guess. This next one, everyone from work should remember, hopefully people seem to like it the most. It is coming out soon in Twin Pies, which is a really cool journal you should all check out. It's called Neverland. We are the lost boys, darling. Our mothers are out there somewhere. We're missing, here together in a land of no mothers. There are no women in oversized necklaces here, no emptied bottles of Chardonnay on our island. Can I give you a thimble? Can I give you a kiss? Wasn't everything hard and unfamiliar before this? You have all these brothers and sisters. Did they ever binocular the second star to the right? Did they ever go straight on until morning? Because here it has been just you and me, honey. Can we keep it this way? I see mermaids in your eyes. You see pirates in mine. Are we the lost ones, darling? Think happy thoughts. I can't fly worth a damn. I give you this ring, so give me your hand. This one is definitely an angry one. I would say it is the second angriest poem in the whole thing. Yeah, I'm not going to say what it's about, but anybody who knows me even slightly will know. It was also in this form, the Haiban, for non-poets, sensible people. It is a prose poem followed by a little haiku. So, yeah. This is Tale as Old as Time. In this one, the princess is not locked away in a tower or a dungeon, not locked in at all, but is perhaps 3 hours away by car in a dorm room, or 8 hours away on a plane in a 2-bedroom apartment with a man that the beast has only met once. Across the land, the beast still wields his grip like a monarchy unyielding as it dies out. The beast calls the princess, and if she does not pick up, the beast brandishes his anger like a gauntlet around her bared throat. When the princess does pick up, she speaks too much or too loudly, or about something that the beast knows nothing about. And so, as if it was foretold, the beast wounds her, snide and unrelenting, until she is silent, until she picks up, but barely speaks, until she stops answering at all and tells tales about other dragons she must fight, other kingdoms she must traverse. After years of curses and broken blood oaths, when she has shorn her hair and abandoned her silks and satins, the princess tells the beast that his reign is over. He cannot call anymore. He has been slain by her beating, unquiet heart. The beast roars like her voice will destroy him. The princess is disgusting. The princess will regret this. The princess will change her mind when she hears what the kingdom thinks of her. She does not cry. She does not run. She does not lay her new armor down. The townspeople warn, girl, he is the only beast you'll ever have. Slightly sarcastic at the end there. I'm just gonna read 3 more. This poem, I have to read my Lost poem. Everyone knows I am obsessed with Lost. It would feel rude not to read that poem. We all call it the Lost poem, but it's actually called Tabula Rasa, which is the name of one of the episodes of Lost. If you have not seen Lost, go watch it. Ignore what everyone says about the ending. They don't understand it. Tabula Rasa. The island demands a sacrifice, and here I am. You're beside me, snoring at 11 p.m. Labor Day. You watched 7 episodes of me, bought me flowers just because, stayed couch-rooted with a burning bad back, and watched Kate and Sawyer fuck slow in a cage in a rainstorm because I like to watch people make cages of each other. Let's get on a plane. It's not okay to say that I envy the plane crash. So I write down that the tension of the show is that everyone is aching to escape. But the audience doesn't want that. Not really. When the raft that Michael builds is burnt down to the steel pontoons, the audience doesn't mind. We cheer. This baggage is so movable and immovable. I had to leave the place where I was born, but I could never leave you. This cocoon we have built, an unexplodable hatch. Oh, I could fill a book with the way the show makes me feel, anything but lost, found, unseen, and bound to you. There is no boat that could take us from the island. It will not always bring us back. I'm not really going to say anything about this next poem because I still haven't figured out how I feel about it. It's kind of more personal and like intimate than I would like to write about, really. Yeah, you can figure it out. This is one that comes a lot later in the collection. So there's sections, so it goes England, Washington, Louisiana. Presumably there will now be a Colorado section. But yeah, I think you can definitely see a journey that I'm on. So this is a much later poem. I can forgive you. After my father tossed me around his flat like a rag doll, and I came home and threw the house phone down a flight of stairs, You sat at the dining table and waited for me to finish. Sometimes we danced around that dining table, not boogieing, but bad ballroom dancing, heads thrown back. It's all about your frame, crashing into chairs, singing to Stevie Wonder or Lionel Richie or George Michael or Celine. At night, I would sit on the closed toilet seats and talk to you while you bathed in our tub. I had a child's cruelty when I would talk about your brick-heavy breasts. You would say, wait until you're my age. Yours will be just like mine. Our bathroom was always ice cold. At least once a week, I snuck into your closet for your wraparound sweaters or chunky boots. I can still smell that leather, 8 or 9 shelves, filled and double stacked. I think the last pictures I have of us together are from that day in the snow. Me clutching 2 chocolate bars from the local shop. You in a winter jacket sticking out your tongue. Cropped hair ruffled, grinning like you knew me. I carry my weight in the same places as you. Stomach and hips cracked thick with age, and my breasts, they need wire, just like you warned. I can't forget the ways that you hurt me, but I can forgive you enough to remember all this. Cool, and the last poem I'm gonna read, I feel like it kind of connects a lot with the first poem. Shout out to Jack, who read this in workshop, and I really loved the way that he read it. It was perfect. I really wanted him to be the one to read it. Hopefully I can do it as much justice. He did such a great job. So this is Reading in the Tub, which has an alternative title, which is It's Not Where You Come From, It's Where You Belong. Okay. The states you've been to have a last name. I just read that in a Dom DeLillo novel, that Oregon has a last name. I had to think about what that meant. I got my last name from my husband, and he got that from his father. Before I was a wife, my surname was inherited from my father and from my grandfather, and way on back. Okay, so the states have a last name. Is that name given to them by some government official? Washington is the Evergreen state, so it would be Washington Evergreen. But Washington is named after a last name itself, right? I don't know, I'm from England. Do you think they care about presidents when they have a queen, nearly 100 years old? She doesn't have a surname. She did once, but not now. She doesn't even have a passport. Perhaps the name comes from the person you know who lives there or lived there, the one that comes into your mind as you read this. My husband is from New York, so when I think New York, I think wolf. It's pretty strange that I had New York tattooed on my wrist before we met, isn't it? When you hear Maine, do you think Stephen King? When I say Didion, do you think California? When I say Sinatra, you say wrong, it is Jersey. Remember, I know, he didn't sing Hoboken. Anyway, I read all that in this DeLillo novel. The one about the towers being cut through by aircrafts and the figure falling through the sky. In the book, it says something. I can't find the page about living a life in a series of rooms. The office building, the apartment, the bookstore. I was in a gymnasium when I heard about it. He was in a homeroom. What is so bad about life in rooms? In these rooms, we share old stories and showers and last names. The men in my family have never been to Louisiana, where we live now. They'll never come to Manhattan. If we ever move there, we would put our last name on the buzzer at the foot of our building. And in a city of 8 million, will just be 2 more faces. Thank you.